Have you ever wondered how to simplify complex queries in a database? In the world of databases, queries are our key to unlocking the vast potential of stored information. They are the questions we ask our data to help us find the answers we need. Yet as the complexity of these queries grows, so do the challenges. We may find ourselves dealing with intricate syntax, long execution times, and the daunting task of maintaining these queries over time. Plus, there's the issue of security. How do we ensure that sensitive data isn't exposed to those who shouldn't have access? And then, there's the matter of efficiency. How can we avoid repeatedly writing the same lengthy queries? What if we could make these complex queries simpler and more manageable? That's where database views come into play. So you might ask, what exactly are database views? Well, think of database views as your own personalized lens, letting you see just what you need from a vast landscape of data. They're like bespoke virtual tables, crafted from the results of a select query. Imagine you're working with a sprawling database filled with countless rows and columns. Not all of this data is relevant to you all the time. You might only need to access a specific subset, perhaps employees earning over a certain salary. This is where views step in to save the day. In essence, a database view is a stored query, acting as a virtual table that represents the result of this query. You don't physically store the data in the view. Instead, you store the SQL statement that retrieves the data. This allows you to simplify complex queries, package them neatly, and reuse them whenever you need. Let's take the example of an employee database. Your select query might be looking for employees in a particular department earning above a certain threshold. Instead of typing out this lengthy query each time, you can create a view of this data. Creating a view is like setting up your own custom filter. You're not changing the data or its structure, but you're creating a streamlined pathway to access it. Views can include joins, filters, calculations, and a host of other SQL operations. Moreover, views aren't just about convenience. They're also about security. They allow you to restrict access to specific columns or rows, ensuring sensitive data remains protected. You can control who sees what, limiting exposure to only what's necessary. But remember, views are dynamic. They change as your data changes. So if new employees join the department or some leave, your view will automatically reflect these changes. So to sum it up, views are your personal, dynamic, and secure window into your databases. They help you manage and navigate the vast oceans of data with ease and precision. They are like your personal data butler, bringing you exactly what you need, when you need it, without the unnecessary clutter. In essence, views provide a simplified window into your complex database structure. They are the unseen heroes, making your data management smoother, safer, and more efficient. Creating a view in a database involves a few key steps. It's like constructing a virtual window through which you can peek at your data in a way that makes sense to you. So let's go through these steps together. First up is identifying the select query. The view you're going to create is essentially a representation of this query's result set. You may think of it as a snapshot of the data you're interested in. This query can be as simple or as complex as you need, incorporating joins, filters, calculations, and other SQL operations. The goal is to shape the data into a form that suits your specific needs. Next, we'll define the view using the create view statement. This is where we give our view a name and specify the select query that will define its structure. For example, you might create a view named employee_view that includes specific columns from the employees table and filters out rows based on salary. It's like setting up the frame for your window. Now that we've defined our view, it's time to execute the statement. This action will create the view in the database. It's as if we've just hung our newly constructed window. With the view created, you can now query it just like any regular table. This is where the beauty of views really shines. You've essentially created a shortcut to a specific slice of your data. It's like opening your newly installed window to enjoy the view. But what if you want to modify your view, or perhaps get rid of it altogether? Well, some database systems allow you to update views. This means you can perform insert, update, and delete operations on them. However, this depends on several factors such as the complexity of the view definition and the properties of the underlying tables. It's like adjusting the window frame or changing the view. And if you no longer need a view, you can drop it using the drop view statement. It's as simple as removing the window if you no longer want it. And there you have it, a view in your database. But what if you want to change or remove it? Well, that's a topic for our next scene. For now, remember that views can be a powerful tool for data abstraction, enhancing the maintainability and security of your database. They're like custom-made windows, offering you a tailored view of your data world. Updating or dropping a view in a database is just as straightforward as creating one. Let's start with updating views. In some database systems, you can perform insert, update, and delete operations on views, just as you would on any regular table. This essentially means you can modify the data in the underlying tables through the view. However, it's important to remember that not all views are updatable. The updatability of a view depends on several factors, including the complexity of the select query that defines the view and the characteristics of the underlying tables. For instance, a view that includes aggregate functions, group by clauses, or joins across multiple tables might not be updatable. Always refer to your specific database system's documentation to understand the rules and limitations of updating views. Now let's talk about dropping views. There may come a time when a particular view is no longer needed. Maybe the requirements have changed, or perhaps the view was created for a one-time analysis. Whatever the reason, you can easily remove a view from your database using the drop view statement. It's as simple as writing drop view followed by the name of the view. For example, to drop a view named employee_view, you would use the statement drop view employee_view. Just remember, dropping a view does not affect the underlying tables or data. It simply removes that specific virtual table. So whether you're updating the data through a view or removing a view altogether, it's all part of managing views in your database. These operations allow you to adapt to evolving requirements and maintain an efficient and organized database system. Remember, views are not static. They're dynamic, just like the data they represent. They can be created, modified, and dropped as needed to meet your data access and security needs. So don't be afraid to make changes and experiment with different views. Managing views in your database is a dynamic process, and it's crucial to understand how to make changes when necessary. Now that we understand how to create and manage views, let's talk about why they're so beneficial. Firstly, views simplify complex queries. Instead of repeatedly writing out intricate multi-table queries, views allow us to encapsulate the complexity into a single, reusable entity. This not only makes our SQL easier to write, but also to read. When you're dealing with a database with hundreds or thousands of tables, simplification can save you a great deal of time and headache. Secondly, views provide an extra layer of security. We can restrict access to sensitive columns or rows by creating a view that excludes them. This way, users can access the data they need without compromising the confidentiality of sensitive information. In industries where data protection is paramount, this feature is invaluable. Thirdly, views encapsulate frequently used logic. If you find yourself repeating the same calculations or filters across multiple queries, a view can store this logic in one place. This not only promotes code reuse, but also ensures consistency across your queries. This means less room for error and more time to focus on other aspects of database management. Another benefit that's often overlooked is the ability of views to provide a level of abstraction from the underlying table schema. If the schema changes, but the view remains the same, your applications can continue to function without modification. This can significantly reduce maintenance work when schema changes are necessary. Lastly, views can improve performance. Database systems can optimize the underlying queries of views, often leading to faster execution times. This is particularly beneficial when working with large datasets where performance can be a significant concern. With these benefits, it's clear why views are such a powerful tool in database management. They offer simplicity, security, and efficiency, making your work as a database administrator that much smoother.